Thank you. Thank you very much. And let me ask Amelia Brace, correspondent, 7 News Australia. Time is yours, please.
Thank you, Chairman Grijalva, Ranking Member Bishop, and members of the committee for the opportunity to speak today. For more than 3 years, I've been the US correspondent for 7 News, one of Australia's largest commercial broadcasters. I've been called to testify about my experience covering protests near Lafayette Square Park, particularly the incident in which my cameraman Tim Myers and I were physically assaulted by Park Police on June the 1st while we were broadcasting live to Australia with hundreds of thousands of people watching, including our families. This video, which formed part of the coverage in Australia, shows the incident from multiple angles. Police begin their attack.
We've just had to run about a block as police moved in. We've been fired at with rubber bullets. My cameraman has been hit. We've also seen tear gas being used. Here we go, they're moving through again. This is exactly what it looks like. Exactly what it looks like. We're standing safely. Media!
That's a photographer. What's going on now?
Hit with a shield in the stomach, a punch to the lens. Another officer lashes out with a baton as we run, trying to get out of an early surge.
You heard us yelling there that we were media, but they don't care. They are being indiscriminate at the moment. They chased us down that street, and as you see, they were firing these rubber bullets at everyone. There is tear gas, and now we are really surrounded by the police, and you really saw the way that they dealt with my cameraman Tim. They're quite violent, and they do not care who they're targeting at the moment.
We began our coverage at Lafayette Square around 5:45 p.m. The atmosphere was passionate but peaceful. In fact, it was far less tense than it had been the night before. As we prepared for our 6:30 p.m. live broadcast, we noticed riot police lines begin to form. We were not alarmed by this sight, as it initially resembled the enforcement of curfew the night before, and we still had more than half an hour before this curfew was due to take effect. Regardless, members of the media were exempt from curfew restrictions. We did not hear any warning from law enforcement that the area was to be cleared or that the curfew would be enforced early. Suddenly, the police line surged forward. We moved back along with many protesters. Police lining the park used automatic weapons to fire non-lethal rounds. Tim was hit with a projectile in the back of the neck and our equipment was damaged. After this first surge, we took cover behind a tree as Tim tried to get the now damaged live transmitter working. We saw the line of police start to walk towards us at a walking pace. To ensure we were completely out of the way of both police and protesters, we moved to the fence line where we were sheltered by a concrete wall and off the sidewalk. We were clearly a news crew. Most notably, Tim was holding a large television camera. We were also surrounded by other members of the media and given no directive by police to move on. As I began reporting live, the line of police suddenly and without warning began charging forward at a sprinting pace, knocking protesters to the ground. A park police officer who was passing us stopped, turned towards Tim and rammed him in the chest and stomach with the edge of his riot shield, causing Tim to keel over and drop down. The officer then took a step back, paused, then punched his hand directly into the front of Tim's camera, grabbing the lens. As this happened, Tim and I were both repeatedly shouting the word media. A second officer appeared to intervene, giving us the opportunity to move. As I was running away, a third officer pushed through the group, going out of his way to strike me with a truncheon. As we tried once again to clear the advancing lines of police, loud flashbangs boomed around us and some sort of chemical irritant and plumes of smoke filled the air. I can be heard screaming as I was struck by non-lethal projectiles directly to my legs and backside. The incident prompted Australia's Prime Minister to direct our ambassador to the United States to seek a full investigation. As a reporter, I have no interest in becoming the story, but over recent weeks, many of us have been left with no choice. I've been shocked to see how many journalists have been attacked, beaten and detained just for doing their jobs. Covering protests does carry unavoidable risks, but the media's role is essential. We don't just have a right to be there, we have an obligation. As Australian journalists, we are the eyes and the ears of our people, in this case, witnessing civil unrest in the capital of our most powerful and closest ally. It is crucial to democracy that journalists be allowed to do their job freely and safely, and that is certainly something we should expect in the world's greatest democracy.